Actually, I'll tell you what. Don't start right after I do my thing, and I'll just go over and do my switch.
Okay, and then...
Bring the camera over to you, and I'll just give you a cue.
Okay.
Okay. Rolling in there? Okie dokie. Thanks. Good evening, this is Michael Marsolek. Welcome to Musician Spotlight. It's my pleasure to welcome my guest tonight, Tim Dexter.
Tick tock, watch the hens race round the clock. They're on a mission. Now they've just ticked off another day for us to wish on. A bright line is what's become of time. Here's our position. Now take it and spin it around till the circle meets completion. And in our hearts there it will stay as the hands come around and take the pain away. Oh. And only joy remains here. Grain by grain is the hourglass refrain that never changes. All you need is the rhythm to proceed on through the ages. Drums and chants, and as we begin to dance, it is contagious. The heart keeps time on the beat as it plays us. And in our hearts there it will stay as the hands come around and take the pain away. Oh. And only joy remains here. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Innocence, we stand and face the moment with a full heart. It's time for change as we seek to rearrange and get a head start. Each is a child. We wonder at the sundial and its meaning, as it seems alright that for all of our lives it takes shadows and lights and courage to keep our hearts from leaving. And in our hearts there it will stay as the hands come around and take the pain away. Oh, and only joy remains here, and only joy remains here, and only joy remains here. Ooh.
Yay. That was nice.
Thank you.
Didn't go back up. He leveled back off. Are we rolling? This is Michael Marsolek. My guest tonight on Musician Spotlight is Jim Dexter.
Hi, Mike.
Welcome back.
Oh, thank you
to
very
Montana.
much. Glad to be back.
Yeah. Jim hails from New York, Long Island specifically, and have come back out to Montana. You've been here a few times already, haven't you?
Well, actually, this is my second time. I was out last summer doing some music and some vacationing with some friends, old and new, down in Hamilton, down the Bitterroot Valley,
Yeah.
and we did a couple of concerts at the Chantilly Theater in Stevensville, which
Yeah.
you were also involved.
Yes.
We had a great time doing some singing and playing together.
Well, our mutual friend Russell Perry is your connection to Montana. And
Yes, that's right.
tell me a little bit about how that connection came about. That first of all, you guys connected back in New York, and then how it ended up that you're out here to do some music in Montana.
Right. Well, around about 10 years ago, we were both students at the State University of New York at Stony Brook on Long Island, and we just sort of hooked up in the Fine Arts Center there. We were working in various degrees through the theater department, and we hooked up there. Actually, that's actually where we did the recording. We actually met in the bookstore. We both worked in the campus bookstore, and we had a similar taste in music, and we both realized that we really enjoyed the music of Pat Metheny. And as a result, I ended up, we'd hang out and listen to music, and we ended up writing some stuff together. And we wrote several tunes. Hopefully we'll get to hear a couple of them on the show this evening, because Russ is here with me tonight. And we wrote some stuff together. Then actually we kind of stopped hanging out for a little while together. Then I heard Russ was going to be doing some recording of his own stuff. I went down to listen in the recital hall area where we were doing the recording, and because I was working in the Fine Arts Center at the time, and I heard him playing these really great pieces, several of them. One of them really struck me in particular as quite a lovely piece, and so I knew they were recording, so I waited until they were done, and I walked in and I said, "Russ, that was just a beautiful piece," and he said, "Well, that's very nice, because you wrote it." It was a piece that we had worked on months earlier, and he had done a piano arrangement for it, which was beautiful. It was stunningly beautiful, and so that's really what kind of really sparked us working together more intensely. And we always talked about how we would love to someday make a record together and do stuff. And actually, that's what I'm out here this fall getting ready to do. So.
Well, it's great that 10 years later you get to put some of this stuff together and do an album together.
Yep.
Russell's solo recording of all piano music will be released shortly, and it's exciting to hear that you're coming back to do some stuff together.
Yeah, it's pretty exciting. We never, I don't think 10 years ago, ever thought we'd end up working in Montana. Being from Long Island, it's kind of a happy part of the story, I think, because it's lovely. I've been spending some time here doing things other than music too, which has been quite a lot of fun and healthful for me.
Jim, tell me a little bit about your musical history and background. You're currently playing, I understand, with a band in New York and
Yeah.
have played with numerous groups. But what are you doing currently? And that's a little different than your solo work. And so
Yes.
how do you feel about the two things?
Well, I just enjoy playing. I've always enjoyed playing lots of different styles. Of course, growing up musically, really during the '70s, I would say. Although I have some musical influences from the '60s, really I began playing guitar and working on it more in the '70s. Rock is really where many folks of our generation learned to get into the music, and so I was in a variety of rock bands since then until now. The group I'm in now, back in New York, is a group called Point of View. That's Point of Y-O-U, not so it's Point of View, not Point of View. Have to clarify that because unless you see it spelled out, you don't know. But this is a project that I got involved with. I was recording some of my own music for demo tapes in a particular studio where this other woman, whose name is Marcy Geller, was also recording some of her stuff. She heard my music, really liked the guitar playing that I was doing, and wanted me to play on her demo. And from there, about half a year or three-quarters of a year later, turned into a band. And Marcy is really the prime writer in that group. And we've gone through a couple different incarnations, and we opened for some big bands, the Byrds and the Rascals, and coming up next weekend, we're going to be playing in middle of Manhattan with lots of other big bands at a big outdoor festival. I don't even know the list of who's all going to be there, but we go on right after Dave Dinkins, the mayor of New York. That's all I know for sure.
Okay.
So that's more of a alternative slash pop melodic rock kind of a group with a world beat in it also a little bit. It's a kind of a hard to describe. And that I'm the lead. I'm the only guitar player in that group, and it's more of a rock kind of a thing. My music that I tend to write tends to be more acoustic guitar based and perhaps more folk oriented, as you heard the opening song "Only Joy Remains." That's kind of the thing that I do on my own, but I'm capable of doing all kinds of other musical things. So
What kind of stuff are you and Russell going to be doing? I mean, we'll hear some of it
coming up,
in a
yeah.
moment or two, but
This is stuff that we're planning for the album that we're working on. It's going to be an instrumental record of just acoustic guitar and piano. And it's things that many of the pieces were done, we wrote about 10 years ago, and then we're also doing some more updated music, some brand new stuff. Sort of along the lines of Windham Hill comes to mind, but we'd have our own take on it, I would say, that kind of music. So that's another avenue of music that I follow and Russ does. We all do a little bit of everything.
tell me about your heroes. Who are your heroes? Or
Well,
your
on guitar,
influences? Or
I would have to say Michael Hedges is about my big guitar guru right now. He's just when I first heard Michael Hedges play, I thought, well, that's what I'm looking for, and that's the kind of direction I've always was trying to head, although maybe I just didn't have I don't want to say I didn't have the intelligence, but I just didn't really have an idea about how to do that. And then I heard him play, and I said, oh, okay, and so that's it. Also, Alex DeGrassi had quite an effect on me. And as far as songwriters now, other than just instrumentalists, although Michael Hedges is also a wonderful songwriter, as well as an instrumentalist, I find Sean Colvin to be quite my songwriting hero right now, I would say. She just, all of her songs just kind of floor me, pretty much,
Yeah.
so.
I'm a big fan, too.
Yeah. I also do a radio show back home in New York, and I don't think folks were getting tired of hearing Sean there for a while, but let's say I offered her music up regularly for the listening audience.
Well, I hope in addition, Jim, to your collaboration with Russell Perry coming up, I understand you're going to be recording this fall and winter.
Yep.
Probably recording in the winter.
In the wintertime, we're going to record. I was out here rehearsing this past week here in Montana, rehearsing and vacationing, and we also did a little impromptu concert, which went over very well. We had a great time working with a lot of folks down in Hamilton. And the record that we're going to be doing, and Russell's record, is a part of new production company actually, which Russ has started, which is called Early to Rise Productions. So it's something to keep your ears and eyes open for. Anything from Early to Rise. It's coming up from your new local Montana artistic pillar of I don't know. I'm going on there, but anyway, keep your eyes open. You're going to see a lot of good stuff coming from ETR.
Great. Well, I hope that at some point too you can do some recording of your vocal tunes. I really like the stuff that you've written that I've heard.
That is also we're in discussion in terms of the next record after the Jim Dexter Russell Perry collaboration of perhaps also putting out a solo record of my own on Early to Rise. So that hopefully will be sooner than later.
Oh, that's great.
But I don't have a real time frame on that yet, but we'll see what happens.
Well, I'd like to hear some more music.
Okay, great. Well,
My guest tonight on Musician Spotlight is Jim Dexter, and in a moment we'll bring out Russell Perry and hear some more music.
Yeah.
Edit, pause.
Yeah.